Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So, the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.
I could go to a gym in the morning if I wanted to. I'm old. I can belong to pretty much any gym I want for free. I don't want to go to the gym. And so Jess has let me work from home, gives me workouts that work from home. Gives me a program that I can do. And that's huge for me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Macro Hour. And today I have Jean with us. She is 75 years young and she has completely transformed her health and her fitness journey with WarriorBabe and has made incredible lifestyle changes as we were just catching up right before I hit record. I can't wait for her to share all of the things that she has done for herself through this program, like prioritizing sleep, waking up early to exercise, adopting a sustainable plan that's given her more energy and confidence than ever. She is a retired RN and a grandmother who balances her busy days watching her young grandchildren. And her story is just a powerful testament to the fact that it's never too late to take control of your health and thrive. And she was just saying that I just am so excited for her to pour into you guys today. So let's just dive into her journey. Jean, where are you at? Where are you at in the US? Tell us where you're from.
I'm in Michigan, outside of Detroit. Cold, but I was out walking this morning in the cold, by the way.
Let's go. I love to hear that. Yeah, it's freezing. I'm from PA, Pennsylvania, and it's cold too, so
Oh,
I feel you on that.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm loving it. So it's been really, really good for me. I can't even tell you enough how good it's been for me.
And so I can't wait for you to unpack that. I just want the listeners to be reminded of your age. I know I said it in the opening, but like I want that number just to stay in their mind as we go throughout this interview together. How old are you?
I am 75. I will be 76 in March.
March what?
So March 3rd.
Hey, March 22nd.
Oh, that's good.
March
Good, good,
babies.
good March babies.
And then
I had one of my own. It was a March baby. So
yes,
and a couple of grandchildren in there. So March is a good month.
yes it is. And also what I want the listeners to have in their mind before we continue on is share a little bit about how old your mom was when she passed and how many more years you have left to live.
My mom was 104 when she passed in January 1st of 2020. And so I look at my life and think, I better get it together because I could live a long time and I didn't want to live like I was. I didn't want to, have those years be crummy years. Mom was always thin. I was thin when I was young, a whole lot thinner when I was young. And but after menopause and around menopause, I let it go. And so
Well,
I
I can't
just
wait to
slowly
dive in.
gained and gained.
Yeah, we're going to dive into that story. So, you filled out a questionnaire beforehand so we could get a little bit more of the depths of your story that we could bring to life here in this interview. And you shared in that your situation before joining Warrior Babe, like you were always a night person and you struggle with weight gain after menopause. Can you talk about the challenges that you faced and what prompted you to make the change?
Well, for me, I mean, I was going up and down stairs. I would be short of breath. I was getting arthritis, which I did have arthritis. I had to have a hip replacement. But the point is, my arthritis was starting to bother me at that time for the first time in my life. And, um, and because I was a night person, I always told myself I didn't have time to exercise.
Mm.
I watched those grandkids, and as I say, it's been about a year and a half, a little more now. And at the time that I started this, I still actually had two that were not even in school yet. I still have one that's only in there sometimes, but at least I have some days when she's in school all day. So I just didn't, I felt like I didn't have time. I was tired all the time. I wasn't getting adequate sleep. I wasn't really eating enough, is what I really discovered. But for me, because my metabolism, I'd let my metabolism get so bad. I wasn't, I also was getting heavier. I mean, I wasn't getting any thinner, certainly.
Right.
And so for me, that was the time that I always just told myself I didn't have time because I was up early watching kids
So
most days.
you mentioned before when we were catching up right before we hit record that you were like 106 pounds in your earliest days, and then you had your first baby and you were 104, and then menopause hit. How much did you gain through menopause?
Through menopause, to be perfectly honest, I've lost 55 pounds since I started this. And I flirted. I know. I flirted with almost
By the
200
way,
pounds at time.
Gina, I don't mean to interrupt, but you have shown up. We have like our company communication, and we have client wins inside of like our communication channels. You have shown up so many times in the goals. Like, as soon as you hit the 50-pound loss, Jess was just blowing you up in the client wins channel. It's amazing.
Well, it has felt so good. But as I said, I just let it slowly climb. When I told you beforehand, I was a smoker. And
Mm.
around menopause is when I decided I was done smoking. I had quit numerous times over the years. When I would quit, I would gain weight and I'd immediately go back to smoking. And around menopause, around 50ish, just over, I decided that it probably was unhealthier to be smoking than it was to be fat. And so I stopped worrying about what my weight was and
Mm.
decided I was not going to ever let that be the excuse for going back to smoking. So I didn't. But I blew up. And, over those last 25 years, I've just let it get out of control. And I kept looking at my weight going, someday you're going to double your weight. You're going to double what you should be. The way that I was going, and I would look at that and think that is just horrible.
So with the 55 pounds you lost, where were you before the 55-pound loss?
I, I was, I was, I had gotten to about 185. Jess and I are going to go to one more cut here. I feel like, even this weight is a little high for me. I wish I could tell you it was all muscle, and I definitely am stronger. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Even at my age, I've gained muscle. There's no question.
Yeah,
But
your before and after pictures look incredible.
I've still got a fair amount of fat on this little body. I'm pretty darn sure. So,
So your daughter is the one that told you about Warrior Babe and mentioned that we had the focus on older women and the fact that it was started by, because I have my
yes.
BSN. I don't have my
Yep.
license anymore, but my BSN. How did that influence your decision?
Well, when we talked about it, when she had joined, Jen was a member, and I didn't know that. We didn't talk about it, but she said, "Mom, I found this group. She had seen your podcast, and truly being an RN, it might sound snobby, but it's really just the medical background says to me and said to her, this woman might know something." you know,
Might know something. I love that.
do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's great.
As looking at us and we go, well, we're pretty smart. And we think maybe you got something together too.
What do you
Because, I
think?
mean,
You think I know something or two?
as I say, I've tried Weight Watchers, and it worked for a while. I've done other things. It's not that I never did anything. And my daughter doesn't have the weight problem that I have at all. She really was more in it. Jen was really was kind of a bodybuilder kind of person when she was younger. She actually got my husband and I going to the gym years ago. And so she's always been into fitness, much, much more so than her mother. I I got exercise because I was a dancer.
Mm,
I We skied. My husband and I traveled. I was very active, and that's where I got all my exercise. I didn't. I did start going to the gym, as I say. Jen got us going there, but exercise was not a necessary part of my life because I got enough exercise.
mm.
And then as I've gotten older, and then my husband passed away, I've been a widow for 9 years. Um, During that time, I stopped exercising per se in just natural exercise.
Okay.
And we used to go to the gym, and I didn't. I got lazy. I got lazy. And I stopped going to the gym. You
Okay.
know.
Okay. So So through those years, and then the decision that you, I guess, were inspired because of having my RN and BSN. How did you think that Warrior Wave's approach, like using macros and home workouts, how did you think that that was going to help you at your stage of life? Because
For
you're
me,
3 or 7.
first of all, I could exercise at home, and having a coach
Yeah.
that was an individual to me, even though I'm not, we're not face to face here every day. And she's not in my face getting after me. I liked having somebody tell me what I could do. I needed a roadmap, and that's what I told Jess when we first talked. I said, I think I need a roadmap. I can't figure it out on my own. It's
Mhm.
obvious looking at me, I can't do it by my own. And I needed a roadmap. And I thought, I think I'm eating okay, but in fact, when I just gave her my original couple of weeks there, you're under eating, and in my mind, I guess I knew I was eating breakfast, and then I might not eat again till late in the evening after I got back home from watching kids. I
Mm.
might go the whole day,
Pure
but I
epidemic
wasn't,
of women in the fitness space.
yeah, and I wasn't hungry. Why? Because my body figured it wasn't going to get fed.
Your metabolism was adapted to your
Yeah.
low caloric intake.
Yep. It wasn't going to get fed, so that
And
was
you were
okay.
eating
And then I wouldn't eat well. I would stop and I don't know, stop and get a hamburger. I'd be 9 o'clock at night, and now I have to eat something, and I don't want to go home and fix it. So your approach of using, figuring out your food ahead of time,
mm,
planning what you're going to do, it was huge for me because I wasn't planning. I was just grabbing when I had the time.
grab and go.
Grab and go. And it was a horrible plan, but it was, it's what I was doing. And then I would get home and I would need a wind down time, I thought. And I just ate something that garbage I shouldn't be eating.
And let me
And
ask
so,
you, how much protein were you eating before compared to now?
oh my gosh, nowhere close. Oh, nowhere close.
Did you know
And
you
when
had to eat protein?
I didn't think about it. I wasn't really conscious of what I was doing.
Yeah.
I had, I might eat yogurt with granola in the morning, or I might have oatmeal in the morning. But then I would just go, and my daughter would say to me, Mom, you have to eat more. You have to eat something. And I go, I'm not really hungry, Jen. I wasn't hungry,
Yeah. Your
you
body's
know?
adapted to it, which we're gonna pin I want everyone to hear where you were at prior to Warrior Babe and how you were eating. Because a lot of women totally are eating that way right now. And they're just like, oh, I'm not hungry throughout the day. Well, this is why you're not
Right?
hungry. Your metabolism is adapted to that caloric intake
Oh,
to
yeah, now I'm hungry.
so that's where I want to like pin, like, okay, great. Leave that cliffhanger right there, Gene, because we're gonna come back and circle back and be like, where are you at now? But don't answer that yet. Okay. So with what you were doing beforehand, like you had mentioned that you were pretty active before. You mentioned now that you're getting up at like 5 a.m. You
I
prioritize
do.
walking, you're prioritizing exercising before watching your grandchildren, which has completely changed your routine. How has this shift impacted your daily life and your energy levels?
Oh, I feel so much better. I feel so much better. I'm getting more sleep than I ever did. Even though I do get up at 5 o'clock most mornings, some mornings six, depends. Sometimes I can get a little later.
That
But
inspires me. I'm like getting up at 7. I'm like, if Gene can get up at 5, 6, I can do that too.
yeah, because now because I'm a morning exercise person. To be perfectly honest, by evening I am tired and I don't want to exercise anymore.
Yeah.
And I come home. Some nights are earlier. Some nights are 6 or 6:30. But some nights are 9 or 9:30. Depends on who I'm watching that night, who I'm putting to bed that night. One house, I always put the youngest to bed. The other house, it's only some nights that mom works that late, and then I help dad. Dad puts one to bed. I put the other one to bed.
Oh, that's
So, but anyway, the point is, when I come home, I go to bed. Whereas before I came home, I thought I had to watch the news. Why? What really is even on the news that I care about it's like stupidity. I think, well, I have to stay up and watch the 11 o'clock news. No,
mhm.
I don't. I can go to bed at 9 o'clock, sometimes 8:30. And I'm just fine with it.
Yes, amen to that. Your
But then
prior
I can get up the next morning and I feel good. I
Yeah.
hated getting up in the morning. I didn't get up in the morning until I had children. I worked afternoons because I really wasn't a morning person. I was really a night person. And
Yeah.
afternoons in my day, not in your day, but in my day, it was only 8 hours, first of all, but it was 4 to 12:30. That
That
was the
works.
afternoon shift,
Wow, that
and
was
that's what
3 to 11
that's
for us.
yeah, 3 to 11, right. Right. But it was 4 to 12:30, and then when I was pregnant, I couldn't they were shifting me from different shifts. I worked midnights. I could do that. But days, not days. Oh, not days. It
No,
was
not
much too early for me.
person. No, way too early. Couldn't do 7 a.m., 7 to 7, or 7 to 3.
No, no, not what the kids are doing nowadays.
Yeah.
Quick break. If you're finding this episode helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you could hit pause for just a second, leave a quick rating or a review, or share it with someone who could benefit from it. Your support helps more women discover these tools to build muscle, lose fat, and feel confident. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me.
So, what improvements or like progress have you made since joining WarriorBabe? For example, like you've mentioned that you've been sleeping better, you've been feeling healthier, you have more of a sustainable plan for the first time. What other progress improvements have you made?
Well, as I say, the food has been amazing because I plan for the week. I cook. I always cooked. I like to cook. So I
Mm.
always cooked my meals, but then I eat the same thing all week. Now I cook that meal. I break it into meal, like the protein portion, into dinners and freeze it. Right now I've got soup in there. I've got from a couple different kinds of soup actually that I've made. I've got chicken in there. I've got cabbage rolls in there. I've got all this stuff frozen. So when I plan out the next week, I can think, oh, what do I want? What do I think I want to eat? And in addition to like the nights that I'm home, I have fish, I do other things. But the point is, I've really planned my meals, and planning my meals is so freeing. It is so freeing. I make my salads. I like salads at lunchtime, and I know a lot of people don't like to eat the same thing. I don't care. So
Well, I love that you were saying that so just like honestly, because so many people go into thinking that nutrition has to be like all the same, like different recipes and all of these different
yeah,
ingredients.
no,
And it makes
no,
that it's already overwhelming to begin with for somebody to start a new fitness routine, like going to the gym and also focusing on nutrition. If you can like almost like, you make it silly, stupid, simple, like
I
the
do. I copy and paste.
simple. What'd you say?
I copy and paste from my fitness pal. I just copy these meals. Just copy that meal. I'm happy with that
The
meal.
thought process out of it where you don't have to you already use the grandkids to take care of, you have your life to be
Yeah,
responsible for, like
yeah.
it takes the thought process out of it. You just copy and paste and you just
Yep,
eat the same
yep,
thing
yep.
over again. And plus I'm sure that makes you be more consistent, right?
Oh, it absolutely does. It's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. And I have snacks figured out. I have all the stuff in between figured out. And, it's not to say the next one might vary. Vegetables might be different. I might change some things in there, but I have the basic that I can just throw in there and know that that's going to work and know that it's within my macros for that particular day. And as I say, I plan out a week ahead every time. Every week, the weekends, I do babysit every third weekend because I have a daughter that works every third weekend. So every third weekend I am watching those kids. But usually I only really watch the youngest most of those weekends for her. So the point is, but I plan for the week what I'm going to be eating, so I don't have to think about it.
I
And
love
that's
that so much. Now,
that's amazing for me.
yes, and that's one of the reasons why you are so successful and have had the amazing transformation that you have had at the beginning of your journey. Because I know this is like, first of all, I want everyone to rewind for the last like 5, 6 minutes, hear you talk about how much more freeing it is with the way you structured your days and your meals and how you freeze things. At the beginning of your journey, which a lot of people struggle with, is they think that macros is so time consuming. And being in my fitness pal is going to take them a half an hour to an hour at the beginning of their journey, which is true. And
You
maybe
did.
for you to like say, was that you at the beginning of your journey? And then how long does it take you now?
It didn't. Oh, now it takes no time at all. No, I'm, as I say,
Yes.
I just go back and go, oh, what day did I hate that? Let's look at that week. Oh yeah, I'll throw that here and I'll put this for this day and this for that day. But in
Application.
the beginning, it did take time. I was definitely slower, but again, once I've, figured it out, um,
Mhm.
the weighing the stuff, I had done that kind of thing with like Weight Watchers. The thing that I really like is that I can have whatever I want. Just for me, if I can make it fit, and when I don't, I have a lot of birthdays. Again, I've got nine grandkids. I've got my own three kids. I've got sisters, a couple of sisters in the area, and a brother, and so we celebrate things,
Heck yeah.
and I love it. Those days, I used to when I would like if I was on Weight Watchers or I was paying attention to what I was doing. I think, well, I can't have that ice cream and cake, or I can't have this or that. And I don't tell myself that anymore. It's absolutely, I'll have what I want to have. A day is a day, and it doesn't make the whole thing gone. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't, because that day, if I had tracked it all, I'd be too high for sure in carbs, probably fats, probably not in proteins.
Exactly. It's all carbs and fats and we go overboard. So you
but
mentioned the
but I
time.
don't feel guilty. I
Yeah.
feel it's okay. That day I did that, and it doesn't change my general progress.
Did you always have that mindset? Did you have that?
No,
No.
not
Like,
at all.
was it like, oh man, I screwed up today. Oh, let me go bleed it into tomorrow, and then like I'll start back up on Monday. Were you that type of person, or was it more like, oh, okay, I've messed up today? Like, what kind of mental?
With
What?
well, in the past that was more my mental, but with this program, because mindset has been really, I love quotes that I see all the time. Jess is always posting quotes. She's always posting things that tell you it's okay. You can, and it's what you tell yourself. It's what you tell yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just as I said before I started this program, what I tell myself, I can't lose. I'm too old. I can't exercise that much. I do all my exercising at home because I don't want to go out in the morning. I could go to a gym in the morning if I wanted to. I'm old. I can belong to pretty much any gym I want for free because I'm old and my insurance provides it. But I don't want to go to the gym. And so Jess has let me work from home, gives me workouts that work from home. Gives me a program that I can do, and
Yeah.
that's huge for me.
I love that. No,
That's really made a big because that's the other thing. I said to myself, well, again, we used to go to the gym a lot, but now because I always said I didn't have time to go to the gym.
mm.
I have time to go upstairs. That's where my
Amen. That's so. I love that. Hear that, everybody? You don't have enough time, but you have enough time. Like you can just get set dumbbell. Like, what do you have in your home gym? What is your home
I
gym?
I went out and bought another treadmill because my treadmill I got after my husband died, we had it up north. And
Mm.
so I gave it away up there. But I did buy a treadmill because I knew there would be days that I wouldn't want to go outside.
Yeah,
And I'm at the point now where I hate my treadmill. I use it when I have to.
I love
But
that.
today I think it was 9 degrees out and I don't know what the wind chill was. But I was out there walking because I don't like walking upstairs unless I have to.
I don't know what needs more to be said from Eugene, but everybody better be inspired to get their ass outside, even if it's 9 degrees.
I
Buckle up and
know.
go get some steps in.
It was great. I loved it.
Okay.
I'm
All
out
right.
every morning. I've got these little things that go on my boots so I don't slip and slide because it's kind of icy and snowy out there right now.
Yeah.
But I've got these we used to call them crampons. I don't even know what they're called now. But anyway, I've got things I put on the bottom of my boots so I don't fall down. It wouldn't be good
Yeah.
on the ice because people don't all shovel.
So you just mentioned like the food freedom that you experience and that the macro approach has been freeing for you and
Yeah.
has
Oh
changed
yeah.
the way that you think about food. Has that been like the biggest breakthrough, the biggest game change for you?
That and getting more sleep. Prioritizing sleep, which I never did. And I feel I know the nights that I can't get enough sleep because there are nights that I have to go to bed too late and I have to get up too early. And
Yeah.
I can't change that. Um, and I know that I don't have the energy the next day. So, it's really been, again, having a coach has been huge. She's been extremely supportive. I love that. I love that I can tell her any, when I had my hip replacement, she was able to give me exercises that I could do. Um, and so that that I was still, because the hip surgeon wouldn't let me do anything. It was all, not even lower body.
Yeah, you had in the year and a half that you've been with Warrior Babe and in the progress that you've made of losing 55 pounds, you also had the hip replacement
Oh,
surgery?
you had your replacement? Yeah, hip replacement last March. Yeah, yeah. I had thought that if they just got injected, it'd be okay. And when I went and saw him, he said, "Oh no, this is
What
this is
is
this is done."
what not do?
Well, and even at that point, I felt that I healed and did as well as I did because I was using Warrior Babe.
Oh,
Because I mean, I just really, and I traveled to France in May on a pilgrimage for 2 weeks, and we walked up and down more stairs than you ever thought about in a day. And I did it all. I loved it. I could do it. And I would never have been able to do that had I not had joined this. I
oh,
absolutely was so thankful when I was there. When I was in France, and one day my tracker told me we'd walked 300 and some steps that day. And because we walked all over, and the churches, because this was a pilgrimage, the churches in Europe were built on hills to
yeah.
protect them for when there were wars and stuff. That's why they're up so high. It was to keep them, like, they had more of a vantage point over the city and less chance of being, although a lot of them had holes in them from the wars, but still but so all these churches were up high, and some of the people we traveled with couldn't do it, and I walked every one of those doggone steps, and I felt good doing it.
Let's go, G. Not many women can say that after having a hip replacement.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah,
like
that was
working in nursing, you saw so many people that would fall and
no
break their
question.
hips, and then it would kind of just be like a downward trajectory from
Yeah,
there.
when my doctor told me I could have that hip replacement in March and I'd be able to make that trek in May, I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Absolutely,
And
absolutely, you'll be able to do it."
months,
Huh?
and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 2 months.
and
Hip replacement is so different today than
yeah,
now. I haven't worked. I haven't worked since the early '80s. Since the last that I worked. I shouldn't say I didn't work. My husband went into business, and I was doing his work and working in nursing, and I couldn't do both. So then I had to take over his books and stop the nursing. But the point is, it's so different today. It's a much less invasive, as far as muscles and stuff that they go through. So
totally. What
it's
do
a
you think
different
made
deal.
the recovery so top notch? What do you think made it like?
Oh, no question that having lost the weight, as much as even I had by then, was a huge, and the fact that I've been exercising. I was trying to get that leg stronger because I knew when I started this program, I knew that I was favoring that side enough that I was losing strength in that leg, and which was a bad thing. So I really was working on trying to get it stronger, which it did. It was certainly better by far when I had the surgery than it had been before I started,
Wow. That's
so
incredible. That's such an it
yeah.
is so inspiring for anybody that is anybody that's going through surgery or even a hip surgery. It doesn't, it could be anything, it could be general, but that's so inspiring to know like, okay, like I can, if I set myself up beforehand and I prime my body to endure what it's about to endure, I'm going to recover.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I said I was so felt so thank and I knew I never would have done as well. If I had just been where I was, the year before,
Yeah.
no way I would have done that well. And I wouldn't have been able to go to France.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that. And I said, you know what? When he told me that I'd be okay, I said, okay, you're sure.
That's
I'll go for it
incredible.
because I knew that I was going to be miserable flying. I couldn't sit. Sitting was bothering me. Like I've got grandkids, of course, like I said, and we have basketball games. Well, I couldn't sit on the bleachers very long. I had to stand. I was with football games. I was having the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
it was really bothering me, and it was amazing when I went to France. And all the other, we were mostly old ladies, is mostly what went. A couple of them, but mostly old ladies. And they were like, can't believe you just got that hip replacement. I said, I know, it's amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And now to this day, so I want to kind of bring back what we talked about at the beginning with you not really feeling hungry throughout the day, you only eating when
Yeah.
much like the end of the night and snacking.
Yep. Yep.
Now, with you prepping your meals, you have a plan that Jess has given you, you have macros to follow. Where are you now with your health and fitness journey? Like you shared, you feel better, feel more sustainable, but what does it look like now today for you? How much you're eating? And we obviously know that you lost 55 pounds. Have you lost more since, or are you at 55 right now?
I'm right around 55 right now. And that's because I've been in maintenance now for a while
Okay.
and I'm not really losing in maintenance. I would like to, but I'm not really losing, which is not really the goal of maintenance exactly.
Sure.
I just hoped I still would. Um, so, as I said, I think I want to go into one more cut because I would like to be thinner.
Yeah.
I would like to be thinner. I think it'd be healthier for me. I believe, again, that this weight, I mean, first of all, I used to be 5'3" and now I'm down to 5'1". So I'm shrinking and still fatter. So this is really a problem.
True. We get older, that's true. We shrink.
Oh, we certainly do.
So what is the
But
goal? We know weight isn't the thing, and you've definitely put on some
no,
muscle.
I realize that.
Amazing for your age. What is the weight, like the goal that you want to get to?
For me, I'd like to be closer to 120 than 130. I'm like at 130 right now, and I'd like to be closer to 120. I think it's a more reasonable weight in that, again, I'd love to say if this was all muscle, I'd probably be okay at 130.
Yeah.
But since I know it's not all muscle, I can see the muscle, I feel better, I'm happier with my shape, but I know there's still a lot of fat in there that shouldn't be. And I just think health-wise, I need to get rid of some of that. It's
Yeah.
really for health. It's not just who cares what I look like today? Nobody else really cares. And I told Jess a long time ago, though, for me, there came a time, it might be a funny thing to say, but I could see myself in the mirror again when I would look for so many years, who I was looking at wasn't me to me
Mm,
because I just gotten just not to a place where I should be, And so, now what I see in the mirror is so much better. And as I say, nobody else really cares. But I know that because I like to, we're going in February, we're going to Florida. There'll be 11 of us. I'm going with six of my grandkids and my kids and their mates. And so I like to go, we're going to walk all over the place. I want to be active still. I like to be active still. I want to be able to enjoy these years with those grandkids and with my kids.
absolutely.
And so that's my goal. And I think, again, I think weight wise, and I know the scale, first of all, used to be my enemy. It's no longer my enemy. That's the other thing that they talked about, and I heard people say it, and I thought, oh, it's so true. Now I get on that scale, and I think, well, that's I'm happy with it most of the time.
Yeah.
And if I pop up some, I think, I think I was okay this week. I look at it and go, well, maybe it's just, where my body is today, and I know that. So day to day isn't much, but I would like to get down, I think, a little more. And we'll see. Maybe that isn't reasonable, but I think it is.
Yeah,
I
you'll know when your body will tell you if it is or it isn't, but
that's what I figured.
yeah, it's a reasonable goal for sure.
But
Um,
again, it's because I think I feel better smaller.
and I love the other goals that you have, the non-scale victories too, as well, with like keeping up and being active and being
Oh
with
yeah.
your grandchildren.
That's been my whole reason.
That is amazing.
That's
That,
what my whole reason for doing this from day one was really that I've got these young grandkids. I've got 25-year-old ones too. I don't have all little ones, but they go down to five.
oh,
So so I still have little ones that I like to be with. That I love watching them. As I say, both I've got two daughters. They're both RNs,
yeah. Oh, that's
and and they both work. So I'm watching their kids. Between them, they got six kids. So I'm watching those kids, and I want to keep doing that, and
yeah.
I like it.
So bringing it back to that, how much food were you eating before, and how much are you eating now?
Oh, I'm eating more now. Holy
Yeah.
cow!
How much are you eating? Where are your macros at right now? I'm
Well,
curious.
I'm only at about 1,600 calories right now. but
But
for
oh, I just need to like say, but only 600 calories for a 75-year-old who is 5'1".
5'1".
How many women that are that old and that small can say that they're eating 1,600 calories? Like a lot of women go about eating 900 to 1,000 calories a day, like unintentionally, not being aware of it. But
Right. Well, and that's probably what I was doing.
yeah,
I was just way too low. And I'm hungry, by the way. I get
that's
hungry between.
beautiful. And you've lost 55 pounds by eating more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No question. No question. Yeah. Oh yeah. When I first started eating, I was at 1,250 calories when we started this. That's what I went to. That was my beginning.
Yeah,
And I was eating. I felt like I was eating a lot
yeah. Of course, your body was
initially.
like, "What is this? I don't know what this. I've been adapted to eating only a meal
No.
a day.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
eating
Yeah.
more."
Nope. Nope. That I really felt was like a lot of food. Now I know that's not going to be very much food.
Oh, I love that mindset.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, 1,200 calories is like bird food.
yeah, that's right. I think, well, but again, I would like to lose a little more just because I think overall, as I say, I feel much better. No question. I
That's
feel better as far as, like, again, getting more sleep, eating enough, exercising, walking. I love my walks. I love my walks when I go out in the morning.
that's amazing. So
Today was cold, but it was sunny cold.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're
Wasn't blue sky, but it was sunny.
good. What would
Little
you
snow coming down.
what would you say is one of your most like proud accomplishments of being with Warrior Babe?
Then I stuck to it. Then
Mm,
I've stuck to it and I like it. And I joined that second year because I thought, I really like this. I can be successful at this. This is helpful to me. And I still need that accountability.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
consider my coaching and that's accountability. And like I said before, nobody cares what other than my kids. They're going to care if I really let it get out of tune. And that's why my daughter mentioned it, because we all knew that I wasn't eating right. And you know, but but for me, I need the accountability still, and I love it. And I love, Jess has been very, very helpful in it. I love it. And she gives me new routines to do, which I like.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
When
That's
I was going to the gym, I was doing the same stuff all the time.
yeah, yeah. It's nice when you can just let it put the steering wheel on somebody else. I mean,
Yeah, it's
you're doing the work, but she's giving you the tools
but
and
but that's what I said. I told her, like I said, I needed a roadmap. For me, that's really what I needed, and she's given me a roadmap.
totally, totally,
I'm a
totally.
map kind of person.
Love that. What would you say to somebody that's listening to this right now and feels unsure about taking the next step with Warrior Babe?
Oh man, go for it. If you want it, if you want it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to change.
Change happens on
I
one's accord.
I did have that desire to change, just felt that it wasn't going to be possible because I was too old.
Oh,
And really, I have arthritis. What can I do? Kind of attitude. But that was just as Jess would say, an excuse,
hmm.
not a real reason.
Amen to that. That is what it was.
I can't, I don't have time, I'm too old. No, no. And there's 24 hours in this doggone day. If we want to find the time, I had to find the time in the morning. For me, that's where I had to find it. I had thought that I had to be in my bed, and I figured out I didn't.
Where would you think that you would be right now if you hadn't joined Warrior Babe?
Oh, I would still be up there in my 180, 190 weight. No question. No question.
Yeah.
And I know I wouldn't have done it nearly as well with my arthritis surgery. I know when I went to France, I would not have had as much fun. Because, I mean, I did. I had a blast. I loved it. I had wine every day, which I don't drink every day, but I was in France.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel bad about having my wine every day. And I came back and I don't have any more wine anymore.
And see, balance. It's all about the balance.
Yeah, it was like I could have this. I'm going to have, come on, I'm in France. They have really good wine, by the way.
What advice would you give to someone that's, 50, 60, or in their 70s who might think it's too late to make the change?
Oh man, it's not too late. It's fun. It's really been fun. I just have enjoyed it. I like the challenge. It's been a challenge. I like the challenge when I get a new fitness routine
Heck
of
yeah.
seeing how much weight I can do, what I can do. It's so that has been really healthy for me. It's a good challenge, you know, and but like I said, if you want to be more active, if you want to feel better, man, this works. And it's just such a sustainable thing. Whereas, like I said, Weight Watchers, a diet per se is very different to me than this.
Mm, I
I
almost,
don't have this. This does not strike me as a diet, which is very, very different look to me than, like I say, something like Weight Watchers, where you can have, X number of servings of vegetables. I can have as much vegetable as I want as long as it fits. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that funny, a half a cup of this or a half a cup of that kind of attitude anymore. Let's
yes.
see how many grams I can throw on that scale and make it still work.
I love that. Yes, like we always say, macros is a skill set that will serve you for the rest of your life. It's not a diet.
Yeah, yeah, truly,
Yeah,
truly. It's been, as I said, I am so appreciative
that's
of this program.
I am so appreciative of you for taking the information, taking the plan, and executing on it. That is one of the, I mean, it's a 50. I look at coaching, what Jess does with you, and then you being your own human and taking, and you guys are working together to
Yeah.
make the transformation happen, which is a huge part of you being successful. So I appreciate you being a go-getter and getting it done. And everyone should adopt your mindset of, just you started out the one way, but you wanted to change. That's truly what it takes, is the want and the desire to
Yeah,
be
you have to want to.
more. Yeah.
Yep,
Uh,
yep. You have to want it. You can't be somebody else because somebody tells you have to do this or you should do this. I think it's very different
yeah.
than in my, I knew that I wasn't happy where I was at. It just,
And there's
but as I say, I'm so appreciative of this program because it is the combination of all of it. It's what you tell yourself, because again, excuses and reasons. It was very eye opening to me. Really, it sounds funny because we all know that
yeah.
an excuse is different than a reason, but really, when it's thrown at you, hey, what you tell yourself, what you tell yourself is not always true, folks.
100%. It is not. You're a testament to that. Your story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late
No,
to prioritize your health and to embrace a sustainable lifestyle. And I thank you so much for sharing that story with everybody here listening. And if Jean's story has inspired you guys that are listening to this right now, remember that your next step could be the start of something truly life changing. And I think, Jean, you totally proven that. So I just appreciate you sharing your story and opening up and letting everyone know that what's possible for them too if they just put their mind to
yeah,
it.
yeah, it is. This is a wonderful program. It has been so helpful.
Oh, thank you,
Really
Jean.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being here and showing us what's possible.
Thank you.
Hey, really quick, before you go, I have one small favor to ask. If this episode brought you value or sparked something in you, take just a moment to hit that review button. Your rating and review make all of the difference, helping more women discover the tools they need to transform the fitness and their confidence. It takes less than a minute, but it can change the path of someone else's journey. Thank you so much for leaving that review. I appreciate you so much.